we have talked briefly before coming here and realizing that this is important not only to our domestic climate change or domestic economy, but it's a global issue whereby with proper arrangement of collaboration, especially in technology commitment as well as technology improvement for both the mitigation and the adaptation part of climate change would be helpful to not only to us but to generations to come. And this is what we are doing for them, not only for ourselves. They might encounter more severe natural disasters, more severe climate change impact than us in this era. I think that since this is high on the agenda, we may say than ever before, this issue requires intensive international cooperation to urgently address both the mitigation and adaptation issue. I've thought about it this morning in Starbucks, which in normal days I find it more creative than in meeting rooms. And I found that if I can use the analogy of climate change and the world health, there's a lot of similarities. In the World Health issue, you have the World Health Organization dealing with large issues such as pandemic, infectious disease, and this is a global issue, right? Same thing here, climate change, you have international organization, you have CTCN, you have UNEP, you have UNIDO, trying to work together to address this big issue of climate change that would in many ways affecting our life and our young generation's life. May it be pollution, may it be forest fire, which requires not only international organizations but collaboration among countries that are affected in a very sincere manner. And this is for health, to avoid high mortality rate, to reduce on health expenditure in the short and in the long run. Similarly, in climate change, you want to try to reduce the mortality rate, whether it's short-term or long-term death or sickness, to reduce catastrophic events that happen once in a while. And for the past years, we have witnessed the intensity and the frequency that are more alarming to us, down to the issue of polluters pay principle. So it's a lot of not only technology, and I would encourage that even though this is a CTCN, but we would also more or less have to include other aspects of CTCN as well. The economic side of CTCN, the political side of CTCN. We were just saying that if we can convince our leaders that this is a common global issue, then the issue of donor and recipient would not be so much of a donor recipient, but more of colleagues trying to solve the global issue together. Whoever has ability to pay. Whoever needs assistance, receive assistance. On that note, maybe things will go faster because climate change doesn't wait for no one. In the end, we would like to see that eradication of diseases through vaccines, through new vaccines, will materialize. Same thing here. We hope that mitigation and adaptation strategies in climate change would help us to live better and to live longer. I have a few observations that I would like to make. One, having said that, I think the issue that CTCN is facing and will be facing in the long run amount to the fact that if we can identify climate change as and technology for climate change as global public goods, then a lot can be done. And by that, let me cite a few examples. Capacity in doing modeling, should it be global public goods? Or do we have to do it bilaterally all the time and ask for donorship all the time? Because modeling is modeling, atmospheric modeling or flood modeling, for instance. Another example is emergency response system. Do we need to do it over and over again, given that some of the emergency response strategies are very common, especially in seeking help once it happened, and time matters so much to save lives? Why do we need to do it bilaterally or one at a time? Or let me cite another one, education and awareness. Can we do it together? A few packages that would be useful for all countries as minimum requirement to educate our young ones, to educate students, high school, primary school, universities, apart from what we are concentrating now, which is enterprises, private sector. But the grassroots should go down to the basic education level. Could there be a mechanism whereby CTCN can propel these global public goods for the benefits of everyone, not only developing economies, but also developed economies as well? It's a common language. My second thought and observation is with regard to the issue of technology transfer. And we are doing a lot in CTCN, and that's why we need NDEs in each and every country to work together as network, and for those who have technologies to help those who need technology. Now, is there a way that we can streamline, may I use the word streamline, technology transfer so that we can have a few tiers of technology transfer? What we are doing now is very good, and I think is becoming very useful. But are there other tiers of collaboration in technology transfer that would streamline the whole technology transfer system, given that this is a global technology transfer, apart from bilateral, apart from donor recipient? Similar to the first observation, could there be a minimum requirement of technology transfer that could happen without the need to ask case by case? Something of a minimum requirement that, like in education, we have minimum requirement of 12 years education, for example. And this could happen only if all leaders agree that this is a common global issue that needs to be tackled, so that the well-being of the world population would be carried out in a safer way for our next generations. My third and last observation is with regard to innovation. And I would expect that through the good work of CTCN, and of course UNIDO and our friends elsewhere, innovation could come in a big way in order to add to the values of the typical technology development or technology improvement or the so-called technology transfer. And the reason I say this is that we now realize the power of startups. And startups and climate change can also work together. It's not only Uber, it's not only Airbnb. It could be startups in climate change. Lots of opportunities, lots of creativity, encouragement of the young entrepreneurs in every country to do more in climate change. Wouldn't that be wonderful if they become part of the socio-economic platform with startups in climate change? I think a lot can be done in that regard. For example, in Thailand we have a lot of problem of children of farmers who do not wish to be farmers anymore because of the modern lifestyle, because of the urbanization. Once they grow up, they leave their hometown to work in Bangkok or other major cities in the country. Of course, they are very good sending money back to their parents, their grandparents. But the result, the outcome is that more and more problems in the urban areas. Less and less productive dwellers in the rural areas, only the old and the babies. I don't know whether it happens elsewhere, but in Thailand, this has become increasingly critical. One day I met a few ladies who said they have worked in Bangkok before and they earn big bucks in Bangkok, but now going back to their parents' homeland. And it's, in a way they start to realize that their quality of life is a lot better with less pollution, less time to travel, and so on. Especially the warmth of being together as a family network. But more importantly, I asked them, so you are going back to be farmers like your parents? And these ladies say, no. I come from Bangkok, remember? I'm now in this province with mobile phones and iPad and Google. And I'm now using my parents' land to do something so productive that you never imagined, which is not growing rice anymore. In this case, she's raising crickets for sale. And it's big bucks, big industry, because it's a big source of protein for export. Okay, so things are changing so fast, but the society is lag behind. So my last comment is that innovation, young entrepreneurship, startups may be more relevant than we think, especially in connection to climate change. I don't want to take up much more time, but my colleagues asked me to say a few words about our work here in Thailand. We have done a number of things, apart from the policy side, which I insist with our friends this morning that even though Thailand has many wonderful plans, but we need more implementation rather than draft more plans. And this is exactly what we are doing. For the past year or two, we have submitted to date 6 projects to CTCN, half of which are mitigation, and the other half is adaptation, and pretty well received by the consideration of CTCN. More importantly, we have also worked and assist our friend in Bhutan, especially in terms of the South-South collaboration. And I think this is a good example that we need to do more. So with that, I thank you again for this opportunity to say a few words with you, and I hope that through the good work of CTCN and all the NDEs, we'll be able to work together in a more concrete way and have less problems with the donor recipient issue and more productive work on the outcome to reduce the impact of climate change and to help the poor to raise their quality of life, and at the same time with stability of the global development, especially what I mentioned to our friends this morning, that for Thailand we have particular case of promoting the concept or the philosophy of His Majesty the Kings of Thailand on sufficiency economy, which at the moment we are now proposing to the G77 group, given that we are holding the chairmanship for this year. Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen.